Hey everybody. Today we're here with Camille Ramos and Debby Flores, who are both D1s from UCLA School of Dentistry. We're going to learn a little bit about their journeys to dental school and their experiences as first years during COVID. Debby, Camille, thanks to you both for being here today.
Thanks for having us.
Of course. So can you please just give a brief description on where you're from originally, where you went to undergrad, like what your major was, and why you chose dentistry?
Okay, I'll go first. I'm actually from the Philippines, and I moved here when I was 12, and then I moved to the Bay Area, and then I went to San Diego State, and then now I'm here.
I am from LA originally. I went to Cal State Long Beach, and now I'm here. But I did not take a gap year. It was kind of like a gap, 8 months maybe, because I graduated in 2019 of December. December of 2019, and I started dental school 2020 September. So it was kind of like I don't know, like a semester.
Yeah, I forgot to talk about. I had a gap semester.
It's kind of the same, right?
Yeah, we had the same thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, during my gap semester, I worked at the dental office for like 6 months, but it was actually kind of shortened because of COVID. The office shut down, but it was a good experience before starting school, so that was nice.
Mm-hmm.
So why did you guys choose dentistry?
Oh my god,
that's a loaded question, right?
Yeah,
very loaded.
That can take, I don't know, I can keep going like on and on, but I've always wanted to be a dentist since I was little. Like I had a little like Barbie dentist and like a Play-Doh drill and fill set, and I just thought it was cool. And I'm a very artistic person, and I like working with my hands a lot. I play the piano, I draw, and I really love science too. Like I love learning like anatomy. It was really cool for me, like seeing cadavers and like learning about all the different diseases. It's like, I don't know, I think it's just like everything in one, all of my interests and like passions. So that's really nice.
Okay.
Yeah. So for me, it wasn't like that. I wasn't born knowing I want to be a dentist, but I kind of always obviously I love helping people. You should be in this profession if you want to help people. I wanted to be a vet. I wanted to be a waitress. Everything. I don't know. I loved working. And I think it was so throughout undergrad, I used to waitress, on the weekends. So I'd go to school Monday through Friday and then, work like 30 hours on the weekends. And I kind of knew I like wanted to do more and not just do bio. So I went straight into bio at Long Beach. Like I didn't go to CC or anything. I had no idea what I was doing. Like I did so bad my first year, like really, really bad. I had like a 2.3 after that first year. It was really, really bad. I just didn't know. I had no direction. I'm the first in my family to go to college and graduate. So I had no like mentor really or anything. And so I started joining like clubs and stuff. And I joined our Predental Club at Long Beach, and it was so cool. Like they were a really, really cool group of people, a cool group. And they were really like encouraging, and they had so many resources. We would volunteer. They had like little lectures. They would bring speakers and stuff. And I think that's what really shifted it. I was just really drawn to it. I think the lifestyle of a dentist, you still help people. The art of it too, I'm not as artsy as Cam, but I just love fixing things. I think that's like,
you're like a mechanic.
I just love fixing things. Yeah. My dad like taught me how to fix a lot of stuff, like cars and stuff when I was younger. And I just like doing stuff with my hands. And I loved how dentistry incorporated that and science, because I love science too. So yeah, that's kind of how it drew me. It was like more like first, second year of undergrad where I was really like drawn towards it. And yeah, and that's how I ended up here. Then I got really involved in that club. I became president. I was just, we did a whole bunch of like events and stuff. It was really fun.
That's an awesome story, from like 2.8 GPA first year to UCLA dental school. Like
2.3, it was bad.
2.3. Yeah.
After that year, so it was my first year. I failed biology. I failed math. I got like 2 C's in Gen Chem. I just didn't like have any direction really. I was just lost, I guess. And after that first year, I maintained a 4.0 for 3.5 years.
That's hard.
Good for you.
And that was like on top of work, on top of research. Like it was a lot of work, but I think if it wasn't for that first year really kicking me in the butt, like I don't think I would have been where I am now.
Very cool. So you guys are both at UCLA now. I'm sure you guys had to have very good DAT scores to get in. Could you guys share your experience for how you studied for it and like what your mentality was when you were going through it?
I can share more about like my mentality, I guess, because I don't know, I feel like the resources I use, everyone uses boot camp and will destroy it a little bit, but after like the first page, I was like, you know what, I'm gonna stick to boot camp because it's a lot. But as far as how like my mindset going into it, so first of all, like I studied for the DAT while I had a full load of biology classes. This was like my spring semester of my fourth year in undergrad.
Right before we applied, right?
Yeah, right before I applied. And so my schedule, oh my God, I have never worked so hard like that. I don't know. But I would have like a planner and I'd be in school from like 8 in the morning, literally until 12 a.m. Like I'm not even exaggerating. Like Monday through Thursday. I always tell people like Friday nights, this is how crazy it was. Like Friday nights, because the shuttle going back home to my apartment, like it was already not working like past like 8.
Yeah.
So at 12 a.m. I would have to take a shared Uber or like Lyft going back home, and all the people I'd be sharing the ride with like Friday nights, they'd be like out or like, you know, going out or like partying, and I'll be like in the car with like my DAT destroyer, like my backpack, and the driver's like, where did you just come from? I'm like, the library. And then like the two people next to me are like all like
getting ready to go out.
But yeah, but I would say like it really just, it's simple. It's just like this. Well, it's hard. Like you have to be really disciplined. You have to know what you want, and you have to not let any distractions get in the way. And for me, that took like sacrificing a lot of like my social life. And like for 3 months, I even deleted my Instagram, Twitter, everything. I was like, dental school. I need to get in. But
you really have to be focused for sure. Luckily, I didn't do it during school. So she's crazy and super smart.
I don't know why.
No, I had one of my Long Beach friends, or he was an older student in the club. He was like, hey, if you're not doing anything like the summer before you apply, I think you should take the DAT. And I was like, I mean, why is there a rush? Whatever. So I took his advice, and it was probably the best thing I ever did. So I took the DAT the whole year before I applied. So I took it, 2018, August 2018. So I studied about like 3 months, and we used boot camp. So because I had really bad grades in Gen Chem, I kind of wanted to like prove myself and put all of my effort towards Gen Chem. And I had just finished OChem, so OChem was still really fresh in my mind. So for Gen Chem, I think I used is it Chad's videos, right?
Yeah. Chad's mics.
Chad. Okay, mics comes with So Chad's. I bought Chad separately and did his whole course. So I basically relearned Gen Chem. Okay. And I got a 30 on the DAT.
Awesome.
So yeah, I use the same resources. I studied 3 months. I had to quit my job for a bit. They were super cool about it. And that was all I would do every single day, just study like 10 to 12 hours a day. And you really just have to like set a goal for yourself, kind of, and then just do it. And just do it. And so I don't recommend like pushing your DAT back, because it's so easy to just say, you know, I can do another week. And I've had friends who just don't end up taking it, you know, because you just got to set it, and you're like, all right, this is the last day I can take it, you know? So yeah, I ended up with do you want our scores? I don't know if you wanted our scores.
I mean, if you guys want to share it, go ahead.
Well, I'll just do my AA because I forgot everything. Well, I got a 21, but on the AA, but for PAT, I think that's what like kind of, you know, like stood out was I got a 27, but I think that's just my artsy side. I don't know. I can't really explain why.
I had AA was a 23. I had 25 on the PAT. It was, the PAT was tough because you really have to like practice that every single day. There's no really like real way to learn it.
You can practice because I did practice too, like you know, in the shuttle, like I'll be on my phone. There's like an app. I think boot camp.
The boot camp had like that little generator game.
And I do like cool. The keyholes or angle ranking. But yeah, I think it's hard because for some people PAT kind of comes like naturally, but
you can definitely learn it though,
yeah,
too.
it's something that you can learn. It just takes a lot of practice and like kind of like drilling, like how we are in school.
No, but it really comes in handy, like knowing all your or being good at the PAT when you're in dental school. I start to see it now and I'm like, wow, like this is some hard stuff. Like you have to work. Right now we're doing what is it, like maxillary drilling, but it's like indirect vision. So you use your mirror and it's like backwards, right? So it all kind of comes into play and it's pretty cool seeing that.
For radiology, how images are
superimposed and like 2D. Ghost images. It's so weird.
So it makes sense why PAT, it is a big thing like in dentistry.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so all those skills carry over to dental school.
100%.
It really does.
Yeah.
That's good to know. Yeah, because I'm taking my DAT like in July, so like these are all great fits. Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you excited?
I'm excited to get it over with. Yeah, because like just a lot of pressure, right?
Think about only taking it once. That was like my mentality. I'm like, I'm only gonna take this once. I'm never gonna retake this because it's the worst exam I've ever studied for. And because it's like people are like, oh, well, I can just retake it, you know, which is fine, totally fine. But if you have that mentality, you're not gonna put your full effort into it.
Exactly. Yeah.
So can you guys walk me through what interview day was like for you at UCLA? Like who you guys spoke to and like what you guys got to see and how you felt about the interview?
We actually met at our interview.
Okay, I'll go first. My interview was pretty like a formal interview. It was closed files, so I had actually 2 faculty members who interviewed me, and they didn't like know anything that was on there except for like my name. But a lot of the questions that they asked, it wasn't even, obviously they asked like, why are you pursuing dentistry? But a lot of it, they really just wanted to get to know me as a person and, you know, what values I stand for. And it was nice because even though it was pretty formal, it was still easy flowing because I had a lot to talk about. Because obviously I don't know, during my interview, I didn't know a lot of like dental related things, so I wouldn't know what to say, but I'm glad that they did ask like, you know, like
basic questions just to get to know you for sure.
Me.
They want to know your character.
Exactly.
So do you guys have any tips about like how you can feel more comfortable during the interview, or like how you could prepare, or what you would have told yourself?
Literally,
honestly,
I know it's so cliche, but be yourself, really, because I feel like people can smell when you're like lying but you know, they can see right through you, you know. Don't be someone you're not.
Like they already like you in paper, so
exactly,
just be yourself and that's how you'll stand out.
It was both our first interview, so it was like what was it?
That was the first.
It was our first interview, so I was so nervous, and I was living back at home in Downey, so it took me like a good hour and a half to drive here in the morning because it was pre-COVID. There was so much traffic, so I left my house like at 5:50, and the interview started at 8. It was super chill. You start off with like a little prompt. It was like an essay prompt. It's like super basic. They asked us about it was like a basic question. I don't remember anymore, but it was like I guess they want to compare your writing to your personal statements, what I heard, but I'm not sure. And after that, it was 13 of us, and they split up our group a little bit, and half the group went to go try on like white coats and lab coats, which was so cool because it's like they really, when you interview at UCLA, they're pretty sure about you unless there's like a huge red flag or something. So we tried on all our stuff, like our white coats, our lab coats, our gloves, and then half the other group went to the interviews, and I had one of the minority students. That was at the end. Yeah, I forgot about that. So yeah, my interview was chill. Same thing, like just basic questions. It was 4 questions. They just trying to get to know you. And what stood out about like the interview to me was so UCLA isn't a really diverse school, I would say. They're obviously trying to incorporate it. And at the end, Dr. Hewlett, which she's like our diversity person at UCLA, he pulled me and this other girl, her name's Lauren Chapman. She's our president now. He pulled us aside and had like a little, it was a meeting. It was a really casual meeting with all the students of color at UCLA, or a lot of the students of color. And just so we can feel more included and ask questions on how they feel. And that really stood out to me. It was really cool. It was like an hour after. And I felt just really comfortable, and I felt like I was wanted at UCLA, and I think that really stood out to me.
Yeah, that sounds really nice that they were able to make it more personal for you.
Yeah, it was really cool because it's an issue. It's always an issue,
and especially
yeah.
like I don't know. I feel like imposter syndrome
For sure.
already
It's
just
real.
like being there, and it's like it's nice to feel like you belong there.
Exactly. Yeah. Growing up in LA and going to Long Beach, it just was so normal, seeing everyone of color. Like it's a normal thing, but I didn't realize how UCLA was going to be. And that just really stood out to me. And I think that's probably why I chose UCLA, to be honest.
So did you guys ever like go to pre-dental events at UCLA or like network with any professors or like members there?
I wasn't a huge networking person. I just had no time. But when I was when I was president of the Predental Club, we had like events that there was like one or two where they would do like a tour of UCLA. I never personally went, but yeah, that was it.
I feel like I really just didn't know like they even had it until I came here. I was like, wow, you guys do outreach.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? There was this one thing I did. So UCLA.
I think it was,
the what?
Wait, never mind. Okay, go. Sorry.
I forgot. Before I forget, it was called UCLA Basic Dental Principles.
Oh yeah.
Which I don't know if you've heard of it, but it's a pretty cool class, and I heard of it through my club as well, which is why people should get involved. And because I live so close, Cam was in San Diego, so she probably couldn't make it. But since I live so close, they would have these lectures every other Wednesday, and you pay like a little bit of money, but they're just basic, just dental principles, I guess. Like you learn anatomy, you learn all the specialties, which is pretty cool because I remember some stuff like now that I'm learning, I'm like, oh, I remember that. So there's a lecture portion, which is like 2 quarters. And there's a lab portion, which I didn't get to do because COVID hit, but you do the lecture first and then you do the lab. It was super cool. You get to meet people. I remember some faces because a lot of the lecturers are students, or all of them. And yeah, it was a pretty cool introduction to all this. I just did it just because it was really interesting, and UCLA was, it wasn't the closest dental school, but I didn't hear of any other schools doing that. But yeah, I was like, really recommend that. It was
That's
really
very
fun.
cool. Yeah, because pre-dents, they can show their interest by getting involved with these events, right?
Exactly. And that's how you see if you actually like it, you know? And
exactly.
that's what the point of a Predental Club is to see if you actually want to do this, because it's a commitment. And yeah.
You have to know what you're getting into.
Definitely.
So something I want to know is, why did you guys pick UCLA? Like, what do you think made UCLA so special compared to the other schools that you either got into or applied to?
I think, well, for me, I kind of just like, I honestly, when I was applying, I was like, I don't know if I'm even gonna get an interview anywhere. And then next thing you know, I think that was my second interview that I got, and I was like, wow, like I don't know, until this day, I still can't believe I'm here sometimes. And then I don't know, but during my interview, that's what really stood out to me, because I just felt like, wow, like I really see myself going here. And like compared to my other ones, I was kind of like, I don't know about this school. But then yeah, like location wise, it's in California. It's close to, so my family lives in the Bay Area. That's like a 6-hour drive or hour flight. And then what else? Oh, the tuition. It's like one of the cheapest dental schools, actually. Yeah. And it's a really good school.
Yeah, it's a great school.
And just everything. Just the vibes. The
vibes.
Yeah. For me, I would say, I mean, I'm from LA, you know, so I wanted to stay close to my family. That whole experience at the interview after with like the students of color was super, super cool to me. And you can't beat the price. And yeah, the location, LA just has everything, I think.
It
and
does. Oh, we have a beach like 15 minutes
we just
away.
like Santa Monica right there, so we just always just go to the beach.
There's downtown.
It's a great location.
Everything.
I really liked our interview group too. I think that was like the tightest interview group I had. I remember everyone that was at our interview.
I think they're all in our class.
They're all in our class. One person didn't come,
Yeah.
but that's how sure they are about you. Like they only interview a handful of students. Like, but yeah, that's where I met my roommate Cam. And we just kept in contact, and we just
we're like, you want to be my roommate?
Yeah.
Very cool. So how has your transition been from being pre-dents to now first years at UCLA during the pandemic? What's that like?
You can answer that.
Okay. I would say, okay, just in terms of like classes, I wouldn't say the material is harder, but it's just the volume of material is insane. Like we have 8 classes at a time every quarter. Most of those being science classes. There are some filler classes that are pretty cool. But yeah, it's 8 classes at a time. So trying to fit everything. Oh yeah, she has her planner.
Schedule.
Yeah. So trying to fit or trying to really understand all of this information, like it's kind of impossible sometimes.
Yeah. Wait, what was the question again? It was like
transition.
Transition.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I feel like it's pretty hard because like every day is different, and I don't know, like one of the interview questions that you sent us was like, how's your typical day like? And honestly, I couldn't tell you because every day it's something different.
It really is, yeah.
And it changes. Like for example, 2 weeks ago, actually for the past 2 weeks, we've been having night lab from 6 to 11, 6 to 10.
It's 6 to 9, but it takes like a long time.
You know.
And they split our group up. So that's one, I guess, a transition. So it's been tough because we don't get to meet all our classmates.
Yeah.
So there's group A and group B. I'm part of group A, she's part of group B. And so you only meet a handful of classmates at a time. And so now that things have been opening up slowly, we're starting to have socials soon. And like seeing all these faces and meeting these people that are in our class. Yeah.
Like,
so that's what you look like. Yeah.
I've only seen you on Zoom.
Yeah. That's probably been the toughest, like not being able to like really meet our classmates, but it'll change soon. Yeah. And online learning is just not my favorite thing, but you know, I'm grateful that we're still here and, you know, we have the opportunity to still be in school. But I think one good thing about this is UCLA never used to have pre-recorded lectures or recorded lectures altogether, or really had like an online system. So, so now because of COVID, all of the lectures are recorded. Everything's pretty much online, which I think is great. I think every school should have that, just because you don't, like I sit in lecture obviously, but sometimes you just like don't grasp a certain, you know, topic or whatever, and you can play it back. And I think that's like a huge thing that I think changed, and it was good. But yeah, online learning is tough. Trying to keep track of 8 classes at once online can be a lot. Like I'll forget I have class sometimes and she'll like remind me. I'm like, oh crap.
Like you really have to be good at keeping yourself accountable. Yeah. And that's why I'm glad like, you know, that this is nice having like a roommate who, like we always remind each other if I forget something or like I'll be like, oh, like what instruments do we need for today? It's a lot. Online learning. Like you have to really know, because you're kind of like on your own time, except for, you know, the lab classes. So you have to really see to it that you're getting your online stuff, that mostly didactic classes, and then aside from that you have labs. So it's like, oh my gosh, like you kind of get caught up in one thing because you're not coming into lecture for those classes. So if you forget, you'll just have the whole weekend, which has happened to me multiple times. Like the weekend will just be filled with me studying for like my other classes that are like lectures. So,
So your guys' classes are pass fail, right?
Yeah.
Okay. But
pass fail honors.
Pass fail honors. Okay. Because usually people put that as like one of the reasons they want to go to UCLA, or like
I always, that was a big thing to me. I really didn't care, but that's great. It's definitely, it's cool because I think it creates like most dental schools are cool.
Like I feel like it forces you, not forces, but it makes you actually want to learn. And it's like, it's not about grades anymore, you know, like when we talk about like for a systems class, which we talk about basically our
every
whole
system.
body.
It's insane. We've had this for like the past, oh my gosh, I don't even.
So it's like when I study now, it's not about me being like, oh, I need to get 100% on this. It's about, no, like I really want to learn for like my future patients.
For sure.
You know, and it changes your mentality from being in school just for the grades or saying that you got an A or 100% to like learning because you want to learn and you want to help people.
Definitely.
You know, like we're going to be doctors, we're going to be dentists.
I second that. I agree with that. And I think it creates like this community in our class. I can attest just to UCLA because I go here, but I heard some schools can be really competitive, you know, and UCLA is just not like that. We all help each other. There's always study guides that are made. And and it's really collaborative, and I really like it. No one's in a competition with each other. We're all just there to learn and
just there
and be good dentists. Yeah, but yeah, that's a reason too. I always forget about that.
Yeah,
It encourages the collaborative environment, right?
Sure, yeah. And obviously there's honors. There's like a handful of kids that get honors, but since COVID started,
they stopped that.
They stopped it for a bit just because people didn't think it was fair. But yeah, so with honors, I think it's depends on the class, but it's top 10%, which is I
they
think
also
it's
had
like 8
anatomy, like
oh yeah,
exceptional.
anatomy,
Like they will put little like E for
little like notes,
but in the end, it's like, you know,
it's all
pass fail,
pass
like,
or no pass.
Like 70% or 90%, it's still a P on your grade. So you know,
which is crazy, and it kind of it's a good thing because you get to balance all your classes because obviously there's like a handful of classes that are a little more like harder than the other ones, like anatomy or systems or foundations, which is like just basic science all over again. So it kind of like helps you focus on the other classes, which might be important as well. So yeah,
it's like you can't really store all that information. You know, it's a lot. It's a lot.
Yeah.
So I was wondering, for this honors, like, is this for people who are like really considering like specializing and they need to have that on their
it's just like one of the factors, I would say.
So I've heard, I mean, I haven't like really looked into specialties yet, but so with honors, it's more so like important at UCLA if you want to specialize because we have so many specialties here. So the more honors you have, supposedly it's better, but I mean, you can get honors in like random classes. Yeah,
there's also other things that can, of course, kind of like an undergrad, how you have to be a well-rounded applicant. You know, you can get involved in other things like, you know, volunteering for underserved communities or getting involved in leadership. There's a whole bunch of other things besides getting just honors in every class. So
very cool. So my final question for you guys is, how has this year been compared to like other dental students' D1 year? Like, has it been harder for you guys? Do you feel like it's been made easier a little bit since you get to be at home and watch recorded lectures?
Yeah, I would say probably a bit easier. They had to go to all those lectures at 8 a.m., you know, take notes, and none of their stuff was recorded, which I think is a huge thing that made it easier for us. It's recorded. You can kind of watch anything on your own time, go back, replay it. And a lot of our classes aren't mandatory, like the Zoom sessions, since it's recorded already.
Well,
so you just go for
like,
Q&A.
Yeah, question and answer.
Yeah, you just go for Q&A when if you don't have questions, you just don't go. So it's made it, I would say, a little easier.
But also, like, we're missing out on a lot because like in undergrad, I don't know, like after class, I would just come up to the professor and ask, like, you know, that personal, like in person communication, and like it's a big thing, because then like sometimes I'll watch the pre-recorded lectures and I'll be like, oh my gosh, I really wish I could just, you know, come up to my professor and ask them a question. But it's different because I'm not gonna email them and be like, can we schedule a Zoom so I can ask you this question?
It's hard to get to know professors. Like we only know the professors that we work with, like when we drill and have like our labs. But even then, it's cool to get to know professors and ask them questions in person. And they're really cool people. And I wish we could have done more of that, because there are some cool professors here. But we will, you know, when school goes back to in person. I've heard is September at UCLA, so I'm still kind of up in the air, I guess.
That's awesome. Yeah, I mean, luckily you guys are getting back to it soon, right? Like you'll be able to do all the stuff that all the other classes.
We all got vaccinated like in January, so I think because of that, and like the nursing, medical students, and just like all the healthcare students at UCLA. I think we're gonna go back soon, but we don't know yet. Libraries are opening soon, though. We're excited. That's one thing. Oh my gosh, we didn't even talk about that. I do not like studying at home. I made it a point when I was an undergrad, like home is my sanctuary. It's like where I don't even want to open my laptop. That's been really tough, like having to balance like your life at home and on top of having to study, and it's just it's a lot.
Our first quarter, our whole life was in our apartment. So I'm like, I need, but
Yeah.
good thing, so UCLA grad housing, we have like this place called Weyburn Commons,
Mm-hmm.
and they have like a study area over
Like a
there.
study lounge.
Yeah, study
Yeah.
lounge. So we've been going there, like, you
Mhm.
know, when we're not in lab, we're
Yeah.
there. Or the library, so it just started
Yeah.
opening back up, and they do have, you have to book reservations, which
It's tough. There's never any
Yeah.
reservations, but you actually want to go.
yeah, but that's
Yeah.
been, yeah, so we're both excited for everything to
Yes,
go back to
I
normal.
miss the libraries.
Yeah, I miss normal school
Yeah.
life.
Yeah, me too. I need the library for DAT studying and it's still not open.
I
I
feel
can't
that.
wait.
I was going to coffee shops whenever I just like,
Mhm.
just, yeah, I would find random coffee shops, and libraries was a big one too.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's hard.
Yeah, it definitely is. All right. Thank you guys both for taking the time out of your day to do this interview. Like, I found this information super valuable, and I know like
Thank you for
our
having
viewers
us.
will
Yeah,
too.
thank you.
If our viewers have any additional questions for you guys, is it cool if they reach out to you like either through email or Instagram?
Yeah, we have dental instas.
Oh,
Okay.
Yeah. Wait, oh, you don't have yours?
oh,
Okay.
I don't know. Maybe I'll reactivate it. I get shy. Okay.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
have
so we
Instagram,
can.
it's fine.
Yeah, so Instagram. That's the best way to reach you.
Insta, or we could give you guys your emails too.
Okay, cool. Yeah, and I'll put that all in the description so you don't have to like say it out loud.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and for all of you at home, like if you haven't already, make sure to hit the like and subscribe button. And if you want to be notified when we upload new content, hit the notification bell. And if you have any questions for us at FutureDDS, you can just DM us on Instagram @_FutureDDS, and we'll try to reply as soon as possible. And until then, see y'all next time.
Cool. Thank you.
Bye.